Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are pulling cards for February the 28th, the end of the month already. Wow. And so I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. There it is. And it is in your best interest to listen to what this might be talking about before we move on to your own sign. So Five of Cups does talk about this idea of feeling some type of disappointment. It's basically acknowledging that there's some type of disappointment that is going on. Now, the question is going to be, is this disappointment ours? Is this disappointment from someone in our sphere of influence? Where is this disappointment coming from? And we're going to figure that out and figure out a little bit more about what it's about as we go through each of the cards for the signs. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to get started with Aries. Another Cups card, Seven of Cups coming up in reverse. Boop-a-da-doo-doo. Aries, I am going to say there's some kind of emotional disappointment that is happening for you. Look how much space we have. I thought I zoomed in more than that. All right. So Aries, we have this idea that there's some kind of disappointment that happened for you. And now what that's causing you to do, it's causing you to focus on how can I improve things? How can I make things better? So it's becoming your launching pad into something better than whatever this was that disappointed you. All right. Next up, let's look at Taurus. Justice card coming up in reverse. Taurus, what we have here coming up is a situation where somebody is making a decision that impacts us, and that decision is not being made in a fair or even straight type of way. It's being made in some type of corrupt way. Sometimes this is a decision when somebody is putting less into a situation, they may decide they're not getting enough out of it, and so they're walking away from it, where the other person's really fully invested. It could be something like that. But basically, some type of corrupt decision that does have an impact on us, and we do see the disappointment showing up here in that decision. Okay, next up, we're looking at Gemini. Okay, so Gemini's Queen of Coins coming up in reverse. This tells me that, which way is this going? Which came first, the chicken or the egg, the five or the queen? Boop-a-da-doo. The queen came first. Okay, so Geminis, you've got somebody in your sphere of influence who has been helpful to you, somebody who has been encouraging and uplifting and maybe even very tangibly helpful to you. And now they have cut off that help. And so I think that that has been disappointing to you whenever that happened. Next up, let's look at Cancer. Eight of Swords showing up here, Cancers. Cancer is basically something has happened that has made you feel disappointed, but that's also caused you to put together a strategy about what you want to do moving forward. What are my priorities moving forward? How am I going to handle similar situations moving forward? So putting together a strategy about this, I do think before you put that strategy together, though, there is a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing leading up to that strategy. So if you can kind of cut that short, then you get through to the strategy a little bit more quickly. All right, that was Cancer. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Leo's Eight of Cups coming up in reverse. Boop-a-da-doo-doo-doo. Five of Cups in the overall. Leos, I do think there's something that has disappointed you in the past, and I think that you're walking back to that thing in the hopes that things will work out better this time. So good luck to you. I hope it works out better for you. I hope you've got a strategy going in about what needs to change for it to work better. That's always helpful. Virgo. You guys have La Force coming up. Interesting. This would be like Leo's card, basically. Wow. Okay, Virgos, this is telling me basically something happened that disappointed you. And this is a strong disappointment. This is something that you're really feeling heavy duty with. Force coming up here. Sorry, Virgos. Next up, let's look at Libra. I want to back up and go back to Virgos for a minute here. I will tell you, too, whenever we feel something like this strongly, it bounces us up. So whenever we get the bounce back from this, we bounce back strongly too. So this puts you in a good position to really come out in a much better position than you were. Okay, Libra. Ace of Swords showing up here. Libras, I think you're finding out something that is true today, and maybe not even like a fact so much as you're having this epiphany, this understanding about something that is true. And I think that as you're having this understanding, this is what's actually bringing through this disappointment. I think you're starting to see things more for how they really are. And there's some type of disappointment tied to that. You may have some kind of regrets. You may want to, once you have this epiphany, you may want to start doing things differently and have regrets about things that you did in the past. Advice here is don't beat up on yourself for things that you did in the past that don't seem to make sense now as you're looking at it through the filter of this epiphany. Just recognize you were doing the best that you could at that point with what you knew and what you had at that time and move forward. But don't beat yourself up on that. Now let's look at Scorpio. What do we have, Scorpios? Oh, goodness, look at us. Look at us, the Tower in reverse. Some type of disappointment has actually propelled us to make some changes, some big changes in our perspective and in how we deal with the world both. And now we're coming into the place where those changes are starting to pay off. We're starting to see the benefits of making those changes. So whatever this was that disappointed us, I feel like for us who are Scorpios, this is more in the past. Usually the Tower doesn't flip in reverse all in the same day. And so now we are coming out stronger than we used to be before this disappointment. Next up, we're looking at Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius, we have the Magician showing up for you guys. Now, this is an interesting card combination. Sagittarius, it seems to me that you're at a place in your life where you have created some of the things that you had as goals that you really wanted to create. And what you're finding is that they don't make you feel like you thought you would feel. You don't really feel on top of the world and totally happy. And you're finding that to be disappointing. Here's the thing, Sagittarius. As humans, whatever we accomplish always really kind of lets us know that, oh, but if we could do that, then we could also do this. And so the horizon that we're shooting for is continuously changing. And so when we get to that first goal or that first target, it's not enough anymore because now we realize, well, we could accomplish so much more. It's a part of the human experience. And if we don't look at things as, okay, I've reached my destination, but it doesn't feel like my destination now. If we look at, I'm on my journey and I've reached a landmark on my journey. And if we can appreciate the landmark and recognize that it's just a landmark, we're still on our journey, then it becomes a whole lot more fun. So try not to let it be a disappointment. Try it to be just another landmark on the way to the next exciting and wonderful thing that you're growing into. That's the advice on that one. Capricorn. Judgment card coming up in reverse. Boop ba da doo doo. So Capricorns with this Five of Cups, this just talks about the idea that there has been something that has disappointed you. I think with Judgment, you have the opportunity to go back to that thing if you want to. And I think that here you're just kind of saying, I think that's a no-go. I would rather not. That was disappointing the first time around. I don't know if I want to do that the second time around. Okay, so that's Capricorn. Next up, we have Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys have the Chariot card here. Chariot card is just telling me, Aquarius, you do have something going on that was disappointing. However, it was something that made you kind of go, okay, but what next? And now you're resetting goals, working together with other people to accomplish something good. Something good. So we like that. Not letting a disappointment hold you back. And last but not least is Pisces with the Moon card coming up in reverse. Pisces, there is some kind of truth that has shown itself to you. And as this truth has come to the surface, without you digging for it, I'm going to add, as this truth has come to the surface, I think that what's going on here is that you're realizing that there was something disappointing about that truth that you were not I think you knew there was something missing as far as information. I don't think you knew what it was. Once it comes up, I think that you're feeling a little disappointed by this, and it's probably also causing you to change how you feel about this situation and even your position in it and what you want your position to be. Okay, so that's what we have for everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate all your wonderful support. Remember to put a thumbs up on this video, share it with others, and put comments down below. All of those things add to the friendliness of the logarithm to this video. And of course, I'm looking forward to reading for some of you, either in on the phone or by video. And the rest of you, I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.